Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report, State?
No.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
One objection, Your Honor. There's a misdemeanor listed in there. And my client says he was never arrested for that, even though it says it was rejected. But there is no record of that. My client says that is not his case. So we would object to that. But that would be the only objection.
Okay. State, you're recommending deferred adjudication?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Gutierrez, it appears from my review of the PSI report, your client is minimizing his guilt. Is that correct? Was there a misunderstanding?
Judge, the problem that I think arose there, I wasn't there for the interview, is that there are other allegations in that report, and I think that's where there was I don't want to say a standoff, but some concern on my client's part. Yeah, he pled no contest to the count one, the aggravated kidnapping, but there are some other, very serious allegations, and I think that's where they maybe went. There was just confusion there, Judge. Okay. That's the problem, with that report. So I think he was just concerned about other issues.
All right. Anything else you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we'd like you to accept the plea bargain. I've explained to my client, it's actually it could be a severe plea bargain if he does not fly straight. So he understands that, and we would like him to be able to at least have an opportunity to move on with his life under the strict supervision of the court.
All right, Mr. Dotson, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. When's the last time you were employed?
In 2019.
And what were you doing?
I'm sorry, it was like 2020. It was January 2020.
Yes, what were you doing?
I was working at the airport for security.
When you say working as security, you mean wearing a uniform and carrying a gun?
No, ma'am. I was working for a company called Clear. It was a biometric company.
But what was your role?
Oh, I was a customer service rep. Really? Yeah. It was a first in line security. You can get it first in line to go through the checkpoint. Oh. It was, it's like pre-check, but a little better.
So how far did you go in school?
I graduated high school and I went to college for a year.
Doing what in college for a year?
I was just in and out, really. I was just doing my basics. I didn't know what I really wanted to do at the time. And then I just left.
All right. How many children do you have?
None, ma'am.
If you're released from custody, where are you going to live?
With my fiance.
Does she have any children?
No, ma'am, he doesn't.
Okay. All right. All right. So this is what the court is going to do. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to $1,000 fine. That'll be probated. 10 years deferred adjudication. What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
I plan on working, ma'am. I plan on getting my life back on track.
But what does that mean?
I plan on going back to school. Kind of want to do a little in and out with landscaping and start that little business I had with my aunt, with my friend's aunt, refurbishing furniture like we were. Mm-hmm. She said it's going well. So she said I can come back and continue that.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Dotson, from here on out, every decision you make in your life, you need to ask yourself, is this something that can result in me going to prison for potentially the rest of my life? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You ever been in Bexar County Jail? I think you know it's not a great place to be.
Yes, ma'am. It sure ain't.
Yeah, and I can't order counseling for anyone, but really before anyone gets married, they really should be in counseling together. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But people will do what they do. The heart wants what it wants. And sometimes people ignore everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this, are you the same Matthew Dotson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 10474B for the offense of aggravated kidnapping on September 8, 2021 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violating condition number 1, on or about the 11th day of October 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Matthew Dotson committed the offense of evade, arrest, or detention in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the remaining violated convictions.
Any objections to the waivers?
No objections, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
State's requesting revocation. We're taking into consideration clause number 719241, evading arrest and detention.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking the court to follow probation's recommendation. It appears probation still wants to work with Mr. Dotson. They're recommending that he attend the local ISF, followed by ISP placement for full 12 months. I've talked to Mr. Dotson about that. He is in agreement with it if the court would consider allowing him to go into local ISF. He realized there's some issues that he still needs to deal with to make him successful while on probation. So we're asking the court to deny the motion to adjudicate and alternate amendment conditions for local ISF.
What's his criminal history? Because I don't have the.
And I know I represented him on the first motion to revoke. And in that motion to revoke, we had an agreement with the prosecution. There was a visiting judge present at the time.
Yes.
He was revoked and given 10 years, and we filed a motion to reconsider. This court placed him back on deferred, and now we're in front of the court again this morning.
All right. So I don't know if your client wants to address the issue. Why should I continue him when, as you stated before, another judge had revoked him, sentenced him to 10 years. And I'm assuming the reason why I went back and continued him on deferred is because the state and the defense came to the court and said, hey, we had an agreement. We were not expecting the 10 years in the prison. It appears that maybe if he would have been given the 10 years of prison, we would not have this evading. So I don't understand why I should continue him, because in the first place, he's on deferred for a first-degree felony, which is aggravated kidnapping. And then he picks up an evading arrest. I don't understand why I should continue him. Here's that he has done nothing. What has he done on probation?
I believe in speaking with Mr. Dotson, Judge, he was employed. I don't know if the court wishes to inquire and ask him about that employment, but he was employed while he was on probation.
All right. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Matthew Dotson.
All right. What have you done since you've been on probation?
I have worked the entire time. The first month I got off, and when I got out, I did not work. I admitted to my probation that I had messed up because when I got out, I didn't have everything set up like it was supposed to. Like I wasn't a place that had a living situation was out of the question because my brother he just got out. He's a felon. I couldn't stay at my mom's. That was one of the places I was supposed to stay. My job, I did not have no transportation to get to my job that I got out with. But a month right after that, literally.
Oh, wait a minute. What's wrong with a via bus? I don't understand why people.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't understand why people have an issue with via bus. I rode the via bus.
I had no problem riding the via bus, ma'am. It was
which is great for defense attorneys. I was a new defense attorney. I rode the via bus. I picked up many a client while I was on the via bus. So
I literally had no problem with the via bus, ma'am. Like I said, I didn't have no place to stay right when I got out. Literally, I was trying my best So I took it upon myself to go back to where I was living at, which wasn't a good idea. That's when I told my probation officer that, hey, look, I admit it. I used, and it wasn't good. It wasn't going to come out clean. Literally a week after that, you came up in my head, really, to be honest. You came in my head because I heard, say, if you want to continue this, you're going to go to prison. If you continue this, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay. I stopped using, I started working right after that, and I've been working ever since then, day and night. Got a place to stay with my boss. He has an apartment there. He's got a place to stay, and I've been working ever since then. And my probation officer called me and told me, hey, if I get the courts to throw away the warrant, can you come in and sign a paper? Yes, sir. I gave him my address. I gave him the place where I worked. He knew where I was working at. The evading arrest, ma'am, literally when the cops came, I was fighting with one of my spouses, and I went to go grab
Wait a minute. What do you mean you were fighting with one of your spouses? How many spouses do you have?
I have just one, but what I'm saying, my bad, I apologize. I was fighting with my spouse. And I went to go grab my backpack from the backyard, literally jogged, and the officer told me to stop, freeze, and I did, and I went to the ground. I didn't run. I didn't do any of that.
Well, I mean, you just pled true to
I know.
evading.
I understand, but what I'm saying, when I jogged to the backyard to grab, so I went to go to jail with my property, and I wasn't able to. I'm just giving you the honest truth of what happened. So when they gave me, I know I just pled to.
No. So you're telling me in a roundabout way that you have done nothing on probation except have employment.
Yes, ma'am.
And honestly, employment
drugs
is what everybody else has.
Right.
And you say you stopped doing drugs, and I'm not considering it, counsel, but we have a lot of positive tests in here, allegedly. Probation, what are you asking for on Mr. Dotson?
So in reviewing, it looks like the officer is asking for Mr. Dotson to attend local ISF followed by ISP placement for full 12 months, biweekly UAs for 60 days, weekly sober support meetings, GPS held in abeyance, and a drug offender education program.
All right. Here are your choices. I will send him to the prison for the 6 years, or either you're not going to ISF, you will be going to safety. Those are your choices. And when you are released from safety, you're going to be on GPS. And if you come back here again, if you choose to go to safety and be on full GPS, when you come back here again, if you come back for a motion to revoke, you'll be looking at the full range of punishment. You know yourself better than I know you, better than the attorney, better than the probation knows you. But what I'm telling you is, if you come back here for a motion to revoke, the full range of punishment is available to the court up to 99 years or life. And the state may be asking for such. So you can either do 6 years. You do your 6 years, you will be done. You will no longer be on probation. They will release you when they release you. Because of the nature of the offense, you'll have to do half your time before you are released, which would be 3 calendar years before you're released. You'll get credit for any time that you've been in custody towards those 3 years. But either way, you're not leaving the jail for some time soon, for any time soon, excuse me.
Safety.
All right. I'll deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include safety, and there's to be full GPS upon release from safety. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, once he's released from safety, if you all want to approach the court about the full GPS and making it partial for work or partial for him to complete the aftercare, let the court know. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We're off the record, Mr. Dotson. From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself whether this could result in you going to prison, for potentially life. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.